Do you think people in the Stone Age? People only hunt with sticks and live in caves. Then you may have to reread the history of mankind. They not only gathered together, but also farm and party. They had a real culture. And within the scope of our current discoveries, in Turkey, scientists have dug up mystery from 12,000 years ago. It directly rewrites history. It was a temple of astronomy and calendar, astronomical calendar temple. Perhaps it was a warning from the stars. We're talking about the Göbekli Tepe. The age of this prehistoric site, even earlier than the Stonehenge by 6,000 years. It directly subverts our understanding of the origin and development of the Stone Age civilization and how it developed. Now let's see how this discovery has changed the collective history of humanity. Around 10,850 BC, a huge comet, or a series of comet fragments hit the Earth. The sky darkened, and temperatures dropped sharply, and a large number of large animals went extinct. The Earth entered a period of a little ice age that lasted over 1,200 years, now known as the place called Göbekli Tepe. There lived a group of humans. They survived the entire chaotic period. After the disaster, they began to pay special attention to the changes in the sky and tried to control time and control it to some extent. They tracked the sun, moon, planets, and even the trajectories of comets. So they built this astronomical solar calendar system, which is the earliest calendar in human history. If you visit the classic Stone Age site, you will see that not all the stone pillars are bare. Some pillars are engraved with patterns, like this one, which is densely engraved with V-shaped characters. It turns out that scientists found there are a total of 365 V's on it. They thought it represented the 365 days. One of the verses is hanging on a bird's neck, which is believed to symbolize a record of an eclipse. Other pillars are also carved with dangerous animals: foxes, lions, scorpions, vultures, and even patterns of various reptile movements. They are crawling along the edges of the stone pillars. Unlike the usual Stone Age paintings depicting edible animals like deer and sheep, these carvings seem to be more like expressing some symbolic meaning. An archaeological theory holds that these patterns reflect the civilization, the fear and chaos it had experienced. It's like the collective effort to understand a terrifying and unpredictable world. Archaeologist Daniel Sturdy particularly mentioned the image of vultures. He believes that these vultures represent the people who had passed away. In some ancient cultures, vultures were considered to bring souls to the other world. He also saw similar symbols in other nearby. He has also seen similar symbols. To understand whether these have any meaning, we need to dig deeper. The true purpose of this site. The Göbekli Tepe was discovered by German archaeologist Klaus Schmidt discovered. He realized that this small hill in southeastern Turkey hillside was not just an ordinary Neolithic mound. Under it, his team dug out a huge stone circle structure, supported by stone pillars. Each stone pillar weighed 20 tons. Radiometric dating showed that the site was dated to about 12,000 years ago. That is to say, the oldest religious ritual building, more than 7,000 years earlier than the Egyptian pyramids. This discovery shocked the entire archaeological community, because at the end of the Ice Age, humans should have been nomadic and lived by gathering wild fruits and hunting beasts. It was impossible to build such a complex and symbolic art. We always thought that civilization started with agriculture. Then villages appeared, and then developed sacrifices and cities. But this site gives a completely opposite signal. Early humans gathered together, may not have gathered together to grow food, but for pilgrimage. Schmidt found no evidence of any traces of houses, stoves, or long-term settlement. Only items and traces used for rituals and assembly. Various theories began to emerge. Some scholars believe that the builders of Göbekli Tepe were just primitive hunters and gatherers who were experimenting with stone tools. Others believe that they may be the inheritors of some ancient knowledge. This knowledge came from an ancient civilization before the end of the last Ice Age. Ancient civilization that existed before. This idea is related to the Dorico's impact hypothesis. This theory holds that about 10,800 years ago, a comet hit the Earth, triggered a sudden and catastrophic climate change. According to this theory, the survivors of that disaster passed on knowledge through symbols, architecture, and oral traditions. And the Göbekli Tepe may be the first to preserve these memories in the early days. If all this is true, then the carvings on this site, especially the animal patterns on the stone pillars, are not just decorative patterns. They may be astronomical codes to record constellations and celestial events. But one of the stone pillars may hide the biggest secret. It's called the vulture pillar. It shocked archaeologists. This pillar is engraved with a very strange pattern combination. Some anthropomorphic images, a headless human figure, several birds, and a scorpion. For ordinary people, this may look like a random arrangement of patterns. But some researchers believe that these are ancient symbols of constellations. For example, the scorpion may represent Scorpio, and the headless human figure pattern is thought to represent a mass extinction event. Some even claim that this is the currently known, the earliest record of a comet impact. If you're wondering who this lost ancient civilization was, some say it was Atlantis, while a more neutral claim is X-civilization. Theorists like Graham Hancock proposed that this advanced culture in that was destroyed in the chaos of the comet impact. But they passed on the remnants of knowledge to the survivors around the world. If this is the case, The Göbekli Tepe is not the beginning of civilization, but a restart. Now, back to these stones. The 43rd stone pillar. At first glance, it looked like an astronomical calendar. But when archaeologists restored the sky pattern carved on this pillar, they found that it was extremely accurate sky snapshot. This image dates back more than 13,000 years ago. It seems to depict a meteor shower, a flood, and the tragic end of humanity. Which is the meaning of the headless human figure? A snake rising from the ground. It may even symbolize a tsunami, or the destructive power emerging from the ground. But the story doesn't end there. These stone pillars seem to continue to tell, as if warning us, maybe we are just the remnants of a lost civilization, the remnants of a lost civilization before the Ice Age. One thing is almost certain. They didn't live to survive, but for a civilization that has disappeared, quietly record us the future that we still can't understand today.